here we are. That little excerpt there of probably a favorite cartoon for many of us. If you guys remember that cartoon correctly, it was hilarious. Because here this guy finds a frog, you know, underneath a building, old building. And it comes out of its box and it starts singing. But yet when everybody else, when the man wants everybody else to see what his frog does, the frog doesn't do anything. And the guy's going nuts, you know. Look, listen to what he does. Listen to what he does. This little cartoon, as funny as it is sort of related to the topic that I'm here to talk about here. And that topic is someone, and you know who you are, because this video will get to you. Why? Because you stalk me. You claim other people stalk you, but in all reality, you stalk me. There's an obsession there I really don't care to know more about. And what it is here is that over the course of time, anybody that you've encountered that becomes a friend of yours, and in a lot of cases, ex-friends after a while, because people your true colors come out eventually, and people don't want anything to do with you. Your so-called troll problem are not trolls at all. It's people, and again, you got to remember here, it's not me, because I'm not out there making videos about you all the time. All right, I made two videos about you that took about 6 months for me to make, because I kept so much inside up until you put me into your video. It almost seemed like you were trying to reach out like a, hey dude, I'm still your friend, but you don't do that way. Not after all the crap that you've said and done to me, lies that you've spread. You don't do that. If you truly wanted to mend a friendship, then you would call that person. I think anybody out there would agree. But back to the situation here with our little frog, you. Everybody who encounters you, and all these other people out there that try to, debunking you and all this other stuff. But when it comes down to this copyright stuff, I'm sure you have people out there that, are on your side and stuff, because, you see, with those people and a lot of the new people who are your friends now, they don't know the whole story. And they don't know the whole story because you're not a friend enough and you're not a man enough to come out and admit your mistakes. Because up until now, I believe you feel that you've done nothing wrong. But see, it's people like the ones who are out trying to show the world what really is, and trying to keep somebody as such as yourself under, calm you down a little bit, I guess, and stuff, because a lot of this information that you're spreading, even though you may think it's not a big deal, it is a big deal, because it's reaching children. And I'm not one that's going to go and say that you committed, that you were somehow tied in with a person committing suicide. Who knows? I don't think anybody will ever know. In all reality, I don't think you would know if at this point in time and stuff, there could be many people who have made that transition because of things they've heard on the internet. And you got to remember, the information that you've been talking about all this time has been about end of days, doomsday, oncoming planet, oncoming solar system of sorts. that could cause havoc. You know, there's people out there who are weak-minded, and there's strong-minded people out there, and the weak-minded will tend to want to run away or just off themselves because they don't want to deal with it. And what it all boils down to is that you don't take responsibility for your words. You don't take responsibility for the information that you talk about. And going along the lines to what I'm saying here with our good old Michigan J. Frog, is that the people who you call trolls, for the most part, are people who are trying to show other people the singing frog. Check it out. Look. And when people turn to look, you're pleading the fifth, you know, or you're up in arms and stuff with you're the one that's being attacked. It's wrong to do what you do, bud. You know, I made a video prior to this. That was 2 days ago. It took me 2 days to calm down. But I'm still a little pissed off. And I'm going to play the audio right now of a radio show that is available for free out on the internet. And if maybe people want to hear the link and or you want to hear the show themselves, I'll supply the links. Where you called me out again. You blame me, I guess, for the beginning of your troubles. And that's sad. It's sad that you have to blame somebody for your own troubles. Because I think maybe if you think back far enough, you had troubles before you met me. Way before I ever came into your picture. And some of your story here, and people will hear it in a second and stuff, some of your story is correct. You know, yeah, I was, I guess, a troll in your eyes or something and stuff. But see, that's not the thing. The thing is that I was one of the ones in a decent way, not an indecent way. I wasn't using profanity or anything like that. I was trying to show you or tell you what you were stating on your videos was wrong. And this goes back to the original lens flares. It's lighting, refraction, all sorts of stuff that you have obviously, I think you've had to have at least admitted it into your mind. The thing that I've noticed that you have not done is you have not taken anybody's advice, along with many others' advice that people have thrown your direction, I'm sure, just to kind of set the record straight. If you have any kind of anomaly, a light anomaly of any sort, whether it be a blue moon, whether it be a lens flare, an orb of some sort, and you're looking at a bright object, right? If you block that object, the light source, because it's the light source that's causing the issue, if you block that light source, I could guarantee you 100% of the time that your anomaly that you see is going to disappear. Because it answers the exact question. It's an anomaly being caused by light refraction, light reflection, so many other things that are involved with light anomalies. But you've stood your ground because see this is your type of personality. Again, this is my opinion. Everything I'm saying here is my opinion. This is in no way an attack. This is merely trying to set the record straight, and I'm trying to protect myself from your spreading of disinfo about me and my radio station. Okay? So I want to play this little bit of audio here, and I want people to hear what it is exactly what you say. Because you only say part of your story to everybody.
we were supposed to cultivate friendships and the friendly posters as well as the mods. Now, here's an interesting thing, guys. This is back information on how all of this troll activity started with me. Okay? They started off as friendly fare, saying, hey, Donnie, take a look at this. Maybe you should look at it this way. And it was all friendly fare. It was all kind of predetermined. I've got all these emails saved. I mean, a lot of them are friendly fare. And then when I started to get hostile or disagreeing with them or banning them, that's when they went into their defensive mode and started going hostile towards me. So
now, did you hear yourself what you said there? You said when everything was friendly fare up until you started getting hostile. I mean, does that make sense to anybody out there? What would it take for you to get hostile? Because you're getting frustrated that people are trying to show you the truth when you are seeing something else, or you have made believe in your own mind that you are being sent some sort of gift or some sort of a sign of some sort. The thing is that there's obvious answers to what you see. And I'm not denying the fact that there are things out there that I'm not going to say make no sense, but that are very strange. But you're not the one delivering those topics at all. I'm good friends with another person and stuff who sees things and stuff, but explains them correctly, not just throws them out there and says, what's this, guys? Your, so-called motto. And then, you come out and you say, well, then, it wasn't until I got hostile and stuff and, started, coming out and blocking them and stuff. And you're saying it like it's okay. And you expect people to just sit back and just take it. Maybe some will. Some won't give a crap and just walk away. But some people who are seriously out there trying to dig for truth, because that's what you're supposedly delivering. And yes, they see somebody with so-called credentials, such as yourself, being a Freemason, Knights Templar, and all that kind of stuff. Because, like it was in my mind, when I heard that you were a Mason, a 32-degree Mason, which I knew nothing about the Masons. And somebody who doesn't know anything about those things and stuff is kind of curious, and hey, well, this dude's a Mason, man. I used to think in my mind, Masons are only distinguished people who have, hardcore education, who are part of huge companies and, CEOs of different things. This was my perception. I was uninformed. So, because of that, I'm listening to somebody saying these things, such as yourself. I'm thinking, whoa, wait a minute, what the hell is this? And in a friendly way, send you a note to say, hey, what you're looking at is not that, it's actually this. Why don't you take a look at this or that? Kind of trying to share information here. But I know, I'm pretty sure I remember, because we talked about it, because the show is an archive out there somewhere the first time you and I ever spoke. And I know for a fact that there was people out there that were really saying some bad stuff to you. And I somehow got lumped into that whole group of people who were seriously dogging you. So, because I'm not like the rest of those people who would just sit there and constantly do the online battle because it's easier for them to do the online battle, I picked up the phone and I decided to call your first show. And it was your first show. And your ex-girlfriend, Vicky, she took the call, screened it. I told her what it was all about. I actually remember telling her, yeah, I was going to call up and say this and that, but you know what? I really wanted to give the guy some kudos. Because I had a change of heart. During the time, even though I was mad that you had blocked me, basically silencing people from giving you truth, and I stood on hold until you came on and you brought me on, and I said, you know what, dude, I seriously was mad that I was calling you up to tell you off and stuff, but in fact I thought about it and said that you have every right to your opinion. And keep up the good work, or keep up the hard work, basically, because I still, at that point, and I'm sure it's on the recording, I don't agree with anything you say. I don't agree with the things that you're stating. However, I'm not going to rebuke you here and stuff because you have every right to think what you want to think. Just so long as it doesn't get too far. Of course, I didn't say that then. So because of that, because of my mere change of heart, and I mean, I'm a nice guy. You're a nice guy too, man. I'm not knocking that. You just have a demented, warped way of thinking, and you have a bad temper, and you don't know how to handle things, and you keep things to yourself. You are your own little world. You don't as a researcher, you're supposed to go out and bounce things off of people. You know, hey, I found this. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? You know, and people will come back and tell you, oh, well, you know, I this and this. Oh, well, then, you know, from that point on, at least you get a different perspective, not just your own, and it could be completely wrong, because you may not be familiar with certain technical things. It's obvious you don't know nothing about photography, even though you've claimed it, because if you knew about photography or any sort of optics, you know, with your $30,000 binoculars that you had or have or whatever, you would know if you used them enough and stuff that anomalies are created with multi-lensing. You have refraction and light bouncing off of lenses. You know what I mean? Why do you think telescopes use huge mirrors and stuff? Because they're gathering light, and the light bounces off of a mirror into a lens. It's common science here. And yeah, I know you like to throw science out the window sometimes because it's good to think out of the box. And I think the majority of people that you have issues with do think out of the box. But not your box. And you've contradicted yourself many a times by saying that well, you know, you've basically said and stuff, just as of late, that if nobody agrees with you on your Facebook page or on YouTube page, you're gonna delete them. You're gonna kick them out. You don't believe in what I say, then you're out. And that's kind of stupid. Don't you think that's a little self-centered? Don't you think that's super egotistical? So, yeah. Not right. Going back to the source there, onto your little spiel of what you were talking about. Nobody was trying to get into your camp, in other words, or infiltrate your mind or your friendship or anything, okay? What I said was heartfelt, and I meant it and stuff. So, you know, go ahead and think what you want. But let's go on with this recording.
This is very much in tune to what has happened to not only me, but I'm sure Chris as well. We'll go more into this. The info was pretty detailed, but not perfect in every case. If you convey one of the hostile posters from the enemy side to our side, you get a nice bonus. So that's interesting. I mean, a lot of them, you know, even there's radio shows out there. One is called Toxic Reality out there. And he befriended me, came onto my Freedomizer radio network through, you know, that we brought him on. Then he quit all of a sudden, left our network to create his own network, and then it became, and he put his time during my time to try to go against me. And his network is failing, by the way. Absolutely, he has like 3 people in his chat room any given time. But this was originally started off as a troll. He came out with a video saying, "I'm going down this path, and you're an idiot," blah blah blah. And we tried to get you, you know, to think like we do. And I'm like, we tried to warn you, and now you've dug your own grave. He literally came out with a hour-and-a-half long video specifically to talk to me in regards to this. And his name is Pharaoh of Toxic Reality Radio. I'm going to call him out.
Pause. Boy, you sure were able to... See, this is where I get angry. You sure were able to give everybody a whole lot of nothing in that little small segment of information that you put out there. So let's put some facts to your statements, okay? Vicky, after the show that we had, and I guess spending some time with you guys on the air, because you agreed back then and stuff that we had good chemistry and stuff when we talked over things and stuff. I never agreed with you and sat there and agreed with you with any of the other things and stuff, but other conversations that we would have, whether it be the Third Reich and the Fourth Reich and everything else and stuff, we had very good conversations, and you agreed to that. It was cool. You even used to call me and stuff when your father passed away and stuff to see if I could cover the show for you. Everything was cool. Never had any intentions of trying to infiltrate you and stuff because of the almighty secrets that you hold in your brain. I doubt that, bro. Seriously. Not even I, that hold security clearances and stuff, are people coming at my door, knocking and stuff, looking for me. Who knows? Maybe soon. You never know, right? But regardless of that, the fact lies there that you have a way of lying, and it's very obvious when you do lie, and people need to be aware of that, because when you start saying and you start to stutter a lot, don't come out and say that you have some sort of problem, maybe your hyperthyroidism is causing your ass to swell or something, which puts pressure on your diaphragm or something, and it causes you to spit lies. You're a good liar, man. No, you're not. I take that back. So, we were cool. Vicky thought it would be nice if I had my own spot. Vicky went to you and asked you if you thought it would be okay for her to ask Proof to give me a spot on Freedomizer Radio. You agreed. You thought it would be a good idea. Vicky vouches for me, because you didn't. Vicky vouched for me after she had asked you. Okay, you need to be technical, right? And I called Proof, and literally I had to sell myself to Proof, because if I would have sounded like a complete flippin' idiot when I talked to Proof, then Proof probably wouldn't have given me a spot. So I had to do it myself. So you gave Vicky the okay, thinking that, yeah, Pharaoh would be cool to have on his own show here on Freedomizer. Vicky vouched for me, went to Proof, and I spoke to Proof and was able to prove myself and stuff to have my own network. So we go on time, right? And during this time, you begin to have your troubles with your trolls. So-called trolls. Basically, people trying to set you straight. Because as some of the letters that you have read, I think you even read it on this show that I was playing. You might have read it on a different show. On Before It's News, somebody left an article there where they basically said you're pseudoscience and you're cockamamie ways of putting things together, and you kind of laughed and snickered at it and stuff. Oh, thanks a lot. You kind of brush it off and stuff, but you don't give it serious thought that this is what the majority of people think. Okay, so when that started getting pretty crazy, and you started having a one-on-one battle with a couple of people out there, you called them out, just like you called me out. You called them out, and you told them to call your show. And this one individual actually called your show. And instead of having an adult conversation one-on-one, you played the little kid part and became Mr. Almighty and stuff and immature, and you started muting people when they were trying to talk. And started laughing about it, saying, "Oh, I have the power. This is my show. I can do whatever I want." Ha, ha, ha. That is just the biggest flippin' smokescreen ever. And it wasn't until then that I realized, boy, that was chicken shit, because if you were able to do that to them, you would do it to anybody else. So, life went on. I started my shows. And it wasn't too soon afterward that this one individual decided that he'd call my show because he basically wanted to set the record straight because he felt shitty that you basically put false information about him out there on the internet. Kind of like you're doing to me right now and have been doing. This is the game you play, and you expect people to just kick back and let you do it. I imagine your childhood was very free. You had anything you wanted. You still play like a little kid when you do videos sometimes too. Cute. Anyway, so this person calls up my show, unbeknownst to me, whatever you may think, and asks if he could have his say-so or his side of the story told to set the record straight. And because I believe in freedom of speech, and I believe that he was done wrong on your show, I gave him the okay to go ahead and do that. And I did, and it happened. And then it wasn't too much afterwards and stuff. Of course, you came on that same show, and you went on there and you started talking in tongues, playing the freak that you are, you know. It was funny. And like you said at the very end and stuff, hey, it makes good radio. No, it sounded pretty real to me. You know, your talking in tongues, by the way, is bullshit. Okay, I'll just throw that out there. In my eyes, it's always been bullshit and stuff. But see, this is things I never tell you. Why? Because I had respect for you. And anyway, the other thing and stuff is that, you know, you sounded literally like you were ready to cry. And I wish I think the date on that particular show was the 18th of, I'm going to say July or August or something like that. Somewhere out there. 18th somehow rings a bell for me. And then it wasn't too soon after that and stuff that you put another challenge out there to another person. And that person, again, you called them out, just like you did me again. And they called your show and tried to have a discussion with you. But because you are the type of person you are, you did the same thing again. You muted them. And, you know, of course, Vicky, unfortunately, by this time and stuff, was already in your control. Yeah, I'll say it. It was pretty obvious. But I'm not going to go any further on that and stuff because this is you and I. And you played this game again. So, a week or so went by and stuff, and again, because these two individuals knew that I believe in freedom of speech, again, I know that you did them wrong because you don't allow people to speak and it wasn't fair. I don't care if we were on the same network or not. That was my show. And I had the freedom to do whatever I wanted on it. And if I felt it was only right for them to get it out, then that's what I did. And of course, you had a tantrum and you went to proof and stuff and cried to Daddy and stuff. And, oh, Daddy, you know, how dare he do this to me? And I bring all these people and stuff because, you know, you are the freedomizer God and you think you're in this corporate, you know. People see, that's what people don't understand. They think that you believe that the whole freedomizer thing, although, hey, dedicated big time. I thank Proof through my dying days and stuff that he gave me the opportunity. But I knew for a fact that I was always doing this as a hobby. Not because I felt I was going to get up the corporate ladder like you thought. But see, I have all those messages too, just like you claim you have emails and all that kind of stuff. I have all that stuff too, and it's very easy to prove. And I'm sure, again, I truly believe that the majority of people out there, as many followers as you have, the only reason you have followers and stuff is because you're a drama queen. And people like drama. So you cause the drama, and people will flock. I bet you the majority think you're full of shit, but they laugh it off and walk away. You're one of those kind of guys that they talk about at lunch. Do you know what this fool said today? He thinks this and that and this. I guarantee it. But whatever, you think what you want. And so it wasn't too soon after, like I said, you know, you guys had a cow. Well, Vicky had a cow. She got mad because she came in late. She didn't know the whole story. And she didn't know what had happened. And she got mad and she ran with it and stuff. And she got a hold of you. You got mad. Nothing was said. Of course, you know, I never got the call. Never got the call saying, "Hey, what happened? What's the deal? You know, let's talk about this. Let's have this out." Because it would easily have been squashed back then. But you did exactly what you blame others are doing. You were behind your keyboard and stuff, and you would never call me to direct to ask me anything. You would never have it out with me one-on-one, because you like to hide behind your keyboard. For whatever reason. Maybe it's a keeping a record thing, that you like to keep track of stuff because you could easily manipulate whatever you want, you know. You're manipulative. It's very telling, you know. Come on. So, you continue on. And, basically, you know, we're completely alienated from each other. I continue with my shows, you continue with yours. I have guests on my show, but somehow in your mind, you think that I have it out for you because of these two situations that happened, where I gave people freedom of speech to come on and say their mind, but when I understand and know that they were done wrong. And it's obvious that they were done wrong. Anybody could go back and look and stuff, regardless of what all the newbies think. Because newbies, again, don't know the whole story. So hopefully they'll listen to this and get the whole story. And it goes on like that. And finally, I get a job offer out of state. And I tell Proof way ahead of time and stuff that, hey, you know, I'm sorry, reluctantly, I'm going to have to drop my show because in this next few weeks and stuff, I may be moving, and I don't want to have to feel obligated to have to do my show. I have to get set up and stuff because I'm moving to Colorado. Well, I left Freedomizer, and when Proof asked me and stuff and listen to this, when he asked me what my reasons were for leaving, true reasons and stuff, not only was it a job, but it was you primarily, because now I couldn't do anything freely because I have a good heart and a good conscience and stuff. I really couldn't do anything freely without having to hear shit from you. Oh, well, there's another station out there that does it, and my network, they're insulting me on my own network. Big crybaby. You even got mad when people from Freedomizer somehow, and I'm sure they did it like you, if people request friendships on Facebook, you know, they just click yes, accept, because they're trying to grow their network of, you know, networking. They're networking. They're trying to get as many people as they can because the more they post, the more people see. So I'm sure what probably happened is this person went out and started adding people because they were affiliated with other people, and somehow you seen that there were other Freedomizer hosts who were friends with somebody you didn't like, and you had a cow and went crying to Daddy again, Proof, to tell them off, I guess, and stuff, because you are one to decide who should be friends with who. I mean, you told it to me too. You know, where was my loyalty? As if I was a follower. I am below you. Where is my loyalty? O King, I am sorry. I bow to you. Kiss my ass. You are nobody to choose anybody's friends for anything. And you do the same thing to this day. You called out a friend of ours for the longest time and called him an atheist and all this other crap when that guy used to get on the same radio show with you and talk about Jesus Christ. You know what, my hypocritical friend? You are guilty, if not 100 billion times more, than being a two-face of a Christian, however you want to, agnostic, fagnostic, Christian, whatever. And you have other people brainwashed, such as Minister Yee. I don't care how much you say you know him. See, your trickery in conversation is that you have the gift of the tongue. And that's cool. Because if it is true that you worked at a radio show long ago, you had a job because you have a gift of the tongue. And people are intrigued to listen to your voice. You have a voice that people are drawn to. Good for you. Why don't you use it for the positive instead of a freaking negative? So, you agree with people to be a part of something. It's very, very telltale and stuff in your conversations on every one of the shows that you have with guests that barely get to know you. Or even one that has known you for a long time. They only know small portions of your life and stuff, you know. They go and they spout something off, and you'll laugh it off and agree, yeah. But deep inside, you know it's just not true. All right, let's get aside from that. So, something that I haven't had. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Let's finish off my thing. So, I basically take off from Freedomizer, right? A month or so goes by, or 2 months go by. My whole thing in Colorado falls through. It doesn't happen. So I basically get stuck with nothing. I was contemplating on coming back to radio, and hello, guess what? I was offered to come back to Freedomizer, but I declined. I declined because you were still there. And I wasn't going to sit there and have to dabble with the whole flippin' thing, you know, about you claiming me doing things to you and all that. Not going to go for that. So I declined. And trust me, there's other information in there that I'm not going to put a part of this conversation here because I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. But I'm sure you would not like it. You would go into betrayed. You were betrayed again. Whatever. You are where you are. Enjoy it while it lasts. So, I decide that I'm going to do... And Proof knew this. It's no secret. I spoke to Proof on the phone. Proof knew I was going to start my own radio thing. And it was always going to be called Toxic Reality Radio, because that's what I called it before. And I was going to do the same thing. It was just going to be like, I went the freeway on Blog Talk Radio. But when a lot of things started happening, for example, the Drake stuff, whatever you think about it, you have no clue about the Drake stuff. I don't see how you even give your freaking 2 cents. You, my friend, talk out of your ass. You're not a true researcher. You don't go out and you look over things and stuff or read things or nothing. You read what's given to you or what people give to you on your Facebook. That's what you do. And you take it and run with it, twist it around however you may and stuff. Or you go into other researchers' pages and stuff and snag shit off of their page. Me included. You used to do that. I'm glad we blocked each other. And who knows? You're the type of person that has multiple accounts and stuff, so you're probably eavesdropping on everybody's pages anyway. Whatever. If you think that makes you a researcher, then hey, all right. So when I started seeing things happening, a lot of stuff that was going down, when these people were coming up and making these outrageous claims, I said, shit, I want to get back on the air and start doing this stuff. So after talking over with a few people and stuff, decided, hey, okay, let's go ahead and start this. But we're not going to go network-wise and stuff. It'd be nice later on down the line. Maybe we could have a few more extra hosts or something like that. Maybe we could do that. But for the meantime, maybe we'll just do this, one show a day. If we can. But I can only do 2 shows a week. And it's basically the same times that I had last time. This is no different. This was not an effort to go against you. If you remember correctly and stuff, my show used to be during the same hours that you were on, except a different day. Right? But see, you don't say that. So, all of a sudden, Toxic gets off and stuff. It starts doing its own thing, and I think the first couple of days that you came on there, that Toxic came on, you were already in the chat room as an anonymous. I have record of all that. You admitted, even though you were an anon, you admitted you knew who you were. Why? Because you didn't like the fact that Zombie was there and other people that you don't like were there. Because now you were trying to control something out of your hands, because that's what you are, a control freak. And you were bad talking everything and stuff, and Vicky was upset over some things which were legitimate things that she was upset about. But all of a sudden now you had tagged Toxic Reality as being the station that is against you. That, oh, you're so special that there's somebody that created a radio show just for you. God, that is so far from the truth. The only time that you have been brought up in conversation or made a show dedicated to you was when you fucked with me. Otherwise, I could give a rat's ass of what you did. So, you went and you threw me in a video. I came back and I made my video on YouTube, and on top of that, I used it as a topic on my show. Because I was pissed off just like I am now. Not as pissed off as I was the other day, but it's still there. Why? Because I have emailed you numerous times. I've gone on to the videos that you put out there, which I never used to do before, and sent you messages and stuff that I know you read because you're got your approvals for your comments. And you ignore them. Because somehow you're going to take it and you're going to twist the story to your benefit. Well, this is where it ends. Because I asked you on the previous video I put out there, I requested clearly, do not add me into your subject. Do not talk shit about me. You want to have a one-on-one show where we debate all this kind of crap and we could answer each other, right? Where I ask you a question and you say yes or no and give an explanation. You ask me a question, I say yes or no and give you an explanation. If we could do that kind of shit, let's do it. Because the truth needs to be out there. If this doesn't work here, this little thing that I'm doing here doesn't work, we need to do that. So let's go to this whole thing about why you're having issues and why you might be pissed off and why you pulled me into things. It all has to do with the cancellation or the termination of your YouTube account that you've had for years. And what you fail to inform people, you informed them on the letter you wrote and you conveniently just breezed over it, but you lied to your co-host, you lied to Chris, you lied to whoever else that was listening to you and stuff, because you keep throwing it out there that, and you do it so conveniently. Oh, they just terminated me for severe terms of service violations. No. Say the whole thing. Severe terms of service violations due to excessive false DMCA copyright claims. So what that basically says is that for the longest time and stuff, you, in your own mind, because you don't have a legal right to your name or a legal right to your material, because if you did want that, you would go out legally and purchase that right. Because that's what you got to do in this world. Just because you yourself in your own little mind think that it's valuable enough and stuff that you claim it as intellectual property or whatever the case may be and stuff, you can't do that. You just can't. And it's all over YouTube, all over the help area, and you could go find it. And there's recordings out there. There's people who have made videos about him. There's a kid who suffered major damages who was doing false copyright claims. And he's got a long apology out there. He had to read it. It looks like he was reading off of a lawyer's letter. Hello, wake up, man. You're not that special. So you did it so many times, and you kept claiming that you kept winning things, and that that YouTube was restoring your videos. That's a big lie. They were not restoring your videos. You were taking, because if that was the case, it would have taken 90 days? For them to go through the investigation and then they would restore the video if it was truly something you won? No, the fact is that you took the video that they took down, you went back in and you edited the information or edited the parts that were in violation that you knew what they were because you conveniently took them right back out, and then you uploaded them right there the next day. And I guess in your mind you fabricated it and said, oh, well, if they didn't take it down again, that must make it okay, and I win. God, what a way to twist the truth, huh? So, the bottom line is stuff that you have a bunch of people who are outrightly pissed off at you because you didn't give them the time of day to rebuttal their comments, and I'm sure the majority of people that you've been dealing with, who you call the usual suspects. Now, again, I'm not gonna deny that there's a couple of them out there and stuff who really do hardcore stuff, and I don't agree with it. Okay, but you wouldn't be in this situation and stuff if you just merely acted like a flippin' adult, like anybody else out there, and just handled it in the right manner. But you didn't do that. You took the low road. And I took the high road and tried to stay away from you as long as possible. But you called me out again, therefore I'm here. So, I'm going to finish up with this piece of fucking crap here. So, I'm going to finish off with this little video, audio. And, you can't flag anything, because it didn't say who your name is. But you know who you are. There's nothing for you to flag. Sorry. So, if you want to do that one-on-one thing in neutral territory, and I'm not talking about Chris Geo, neutral territory somewhere else, we could do that. Okay? You just let me know. Be a man. Stand up for your shit. Have the balls that you claim you have. Stand up for your shit. Alright? Peace.